Alright, so welcome to Let's Talk Television, Season 3, Episode 3 here. So we're here Saturday, October 6th, and breaking down some of the biggest news this week, or at least, news that is kind of relevant for me and this channel, and the type of stuff that I review and typically check out. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me live for the episode here, and also thank you for watching afterwards as well. Do really appreciate that. Also, so some big things today to talk about. To be honest, compared to some other weeks, it was a relatively slow news week here. Actually, for this week. But yeah. So I mean, some weeks are going to be like that, right? Some weeks are going to be a little bit slower than others. But I think I still have quite a bit to talk about in this one. A couple of them are renewal announcements. So, maybe those will be a little bit quicker. But we do have some really big ones, including the spotlight for this week of Let's Talk Television, which is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and the Negan spinoff. So, as always, the spotlight will be the focus of the thumbnail and, the title of the episode each week. And so, but that doesn't mean that the whole episode is talking about that spotlight, of course. That is just the spotlight and the main kind of topic that we'll be focusing on right off the top. And then after that, of course, there's, various other news topics. So anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about the clips and stuff like that. This last week and the week before, I was getting, some pretty good support with those clips and people checking those out. So I do appreciate that, but I'd love to get your guys' feedback. Please let me know at any time if they're, becoming too much like spam or anything like that. But yeah, so anyways, and there'll be a few, clips, maybe 2 or 3 clips from this one as well. But there will always be a clip for the spotlight. Now, last week, I did this as well, and I didn't do the whole spotlight, right? Because I talked about the Walking Dead news, or not the Walking Dead news, sorry, the Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad news, for I think it was like 12 or 13 minutes, but I'm not going to make a clip that long, right? So I made the clip about 6 minutes, and it was kind of the main portion of that discussion. So essentially, it's just kind of breaking down the main topics and stuff of what I talk about in this episode, breaking down to a little bit something smaller, maybe something easier to digest for certain people. So anyways, again, thank you so much for watching right now live, and thanks so much for watching afterwards. I do really appreciate it. I'd love to get your thoughts of any and all the news that I talk about today on the episode, so please leave that in the live chat now throughout the episode, and I'll get to it near the end or hopefully in between segments. And then if you're after the video, you can comment. You can also post some questions for me that I can also use in next week's episode at the very end. So thank you guys, and let us get into this week's news. Without any further ado, I just want to make sure that everything's cooperating here. Everything's good? Okay. All right. So, let's get into this week's news, okay? So, the spotlight for this week is something that, of course, interests me quite a lot, which you'll see technically, I'll tend to have a spotlight that I'm a lot more interested in. Not necessarily, the biggest news topic, right? It's something I'm more interested in, and there's something that I can discuss even more. So, anyways, the spotlight this week is Jeffrey Dean Morgan in talks with the Walking Dead boss about Negan spinoff. So, this one's from Digital Spy, but this story kind of broke out this week in a lot of places, a lot of outlets, so I'm sure that you can find this story on a lot of other platforms. And keep in mind, I'm not putting the links to any of these articles in the description, as it would just be very tedious, very difficult to track down all these links and compile them all in the description. So if you want to read more about any of these stories, as I'm not talking about everything. I'm not here to read word for word from articles. If you do want to do that, search them up for yourself, and I'm sure you'll be able to find them pretty easily. That is also why I identify the source as Digital Spy for this one, so you guys can, kind of narrow that search down if you really want to find it. So, anyways, guys, let's read what this article or what this source has to say, and then I'm going to kind of share my thoughts on it, and hopefully you guys are willing to share yours as well. So, anyway, so we get into this one. Jeffrey Dean Morgan has revealed that he has conversations about a Negan Walking Dead spinoff regularly. Starting a zombie journey back in 2016 in devastatingly brutal fashion, may we add, the actor's time on the show has been filled with antagonism, but season 9 is set to offer some redemption for the character. I like how they have redemption in quotation marks, right? Pretty cool. So then this quote is from Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I know that they've talked about doing all sorts of other things, movies and whatever else. I don't know too much about it. I know it could be an exciting opportunity to tell that story. So that's from Jeffrey Dean Morgan himself. And then it goes on to say, this is exciting news given that the Walking Dead TV universe is set to continue for at least another decade. Perhaps Here's Negan, which is the standalone comic series, which essentially serves as the backstory for Negan already, can serve as a narrative blueprint for a TV movie. Right? So, meanwhile, with the hit show returning to screens next month, it's been confirmed that Season 9's opening episode will be one of the longest ever. So, quickly, let's just address that last point, because I wanted to include it in with this discussion because I thought it was important, especially with the episode actually going to be airing tomorrow night on AMC, that now that I'm recording this on a Saturday. But anyway, so just quickly, I'll address that last point, and then we'll get into the whole Negan spinoff. So, good news. I think that's really good news. I think it's, going to be one of the longest ever. I also think it's going to be one of the more, I don't want to say boring, but maybe if I say that, you know what I'm getting at. Because I wouldn't quite categorize it as boring, but I think it's going to drag on a bit, right? And I also think, though, as well, I think it's going to be good that it's long because we have so much to talk about, or not to talk about, but, so much to explore in this premiere because they've taken it, well, it's been at least, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, depending on what they decided. With this time jump. So we have so much to learn about what has happened in the last 2 years that they really do need a very long premiere. So how long it is, I'm not sure. I'm sure that you can actually find the exact time by now. Maybe if you check your guide on AMC, I'm sure that it would be on there. I'm guessing it's going to be like an hour and a bit because it says one of the longest ever. And I'm trying to think of the longest episode. I would say, I think the Carl's episode, the Farewell to Carl episode, I think that was one of the longest ever. That was like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that, like run time. That's not including commercials. So, it might be, over an hour, this episode. So, and I'm game for it. I'm really looking forward to it. So, tomorrow night, you better believe I'll be tuned to my screen, and really looking forward to 9 p.m. Eastern on AMC, The Walking Dead Season 9 kicking off. But anyway, so now let's get into the Negan spin-off talk. This news broke this week, right? I think because Jeffrey D. Morgan said it in an interview. But obviously with this news, we do know that this isn't the first time. Like, this week isn't the first time he's had conversations about doing this Negan spinoff, right? So he's had conversations in the past. And he says about the Walking Dead boss, which is Scott Gimple. A lot of people do not like Scott Gimple right now. A lot of people actually feel like he ruined Fear the Walking Dead because now season 3 was, pretty good to some people, and season 4 has kind of went downhill now. And a lot of people blame that on him getting involved now in season 4, right? And then people also blame him for ruining The Walking Dead season 7 and 8. So, anyways, Scott Gimple, he can't really do anything right anymore, can he? I don't know. I think you can't attribute, the writing of an entire, an entire season, but maybe even stretch to 2 seasons for season 7 and 8, on one guy, right? I mean, he's the showrunner, yes, but he doesn't write every single episode. Does he have a say in every single episode? The script, probably, right? But he doesn't write everything, right? And so I think to place the blame on one guy is kind of, I don't think it's quite appropriate, but I'm kind of with these people though. I mean, it's not too much of a coincidence that Scott Gimple only got involved in Fear the Walking Dead this last season 4, and that was the worst season of the show, right? So there's got to be something correlation there. Anyways, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I really, really hope that we get a Negan spin-off. There was talk about it even in season 7 when he was introduced. So many people were talking about how we need a Negan spin-off. A lot of people, including myself, were looking forward to maybe an episode spin-off of a Negan, backstory, something like that, right? So we got this with Morgan in season 6. We got, what was the episode called? Come on. What was that episode called? Damn. Anyways, okay. Well, anyways, the season 6, episode 3, episode. It wasn't. Was it Here's Not Here? I guess it was. Yeah, I guess it was Here's Not Here. So, because I'm getting mixed up with Here's Not Here and Clear was another, kind of episode there. But anyway, so Here's Not Here. We got that with Morgan, right? There's no other cast members from The Walking Dead except Lenny James in Morgan, and then of course, Eastman. But he is introduced and killed within that episode. And so I really thought that in season 8, this is something that they could have done. I feel like they could have kind of took a break from the war. We had a couple episodes of season 8, let's be honest, that really nothing much happened, right? And I really felt like instead of one of those, maybe you could have slid in this Negan backstory episode. Make it, again, like Morgan's episode, that was like an hour plus. Make it an hour plus. Make this kind of the length of a TV movie, a short TV movie, and give us an episode of Negan's backstory, right? Because I really think that Negan's backstory is crucial in understanding this, right? He's one of the biggest characters in The Walking Dead from the past few seasons here. He's definitely the biggest villain of the show. And I feel like he's such a dynamic character that you really should learn why he is like this, right? Like, how has he become this? And we've had a few hints of that throughout season 8. Specifically, the scene with him and Gabriel in the RV, how they're stuck there. That was at the beginning of season 8, I think episode 3 or episode 4, and they were talking a little bit about his past and his wife and stuff like that. But that is really one of the only glimpses of his backstory or his past that we've gotten in the show. So to have a spin-off like this, either a TV movie, or I still think they could do an episode, especially in season 9, because it's going to be a slow-paced, kind of reflective first half, at least first half, maybe the whole season. And so, I really think you could fit it. Obviously, they didn't, right? The filming's already done, and we know they haven't, but I just think they could have had a Negan spin-off episode in there. Anyways, TV movie would be amazing. I'm happy with it, kind of, anyway, it's kind of, they decided to do it, I'm happy with it, and I'm going to watch it. And again, I mean, there's just even more reason for this, because there's already a comic series, right, that is, and they say here in this, that can serve as a narrative blueprint, right? And it's true, right? I mean, of course, the show is based on the comics, but, of course, they've went, kind of distanced themselves from the comics at times, but also stayed true to them quite often as well. So, anyways, I really think that because there's a comic book, there's already that story in place. They don't even have to make a story. They don't even have to craft something. They can really just adapt what is on these pages, maybe add a little bit of narrative, a little bit more, a little bit more element that is going to shine brighter on a TV screen, right? That's going to be better than a comic page. But yeah, I really think that it could be very good, and I think if it's done properly, it could be awesome, right? And again, this goes back to the thing of now they say, oh, well, The Walking Dead's going to continue the universe for the next 10 years or the next decade, right? Well, how are they going to do this? They're going to have to make spin-offs. They're going to have to keep the Walking Dead original series going for a bit. They're going to have to keep Fear the Walking Dead going for a bit. And they're going to have to do, TV movies and stuff like this. And I think Negan's spin-off TV movie or spin-off series even is #1 priority for them if they want to continue this universe. I think it's something that they really need to explore. And it's awesome just to see that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in talks with it. Because ultimately, right, this whole thing is reliant on him willing to do it, right? I mean, like, if he doesn't want to do the Negan spin-off, the chances of it are pretty slim, right? I mean, I guess you could get a different actor to play Negan, because it is a flashback, but it just really wouldn't have that same feel to it, of course. So, anyways, it's good news that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is willing to do it, and that he's game for it, and he's in talks with them. So we'll have to see, but. Anyways, I'm hoping by the time we get maybe season 10, we could really hear the news of, like, this is actually confirmed and it's happening, right? And they're going to kind of begin production on it, because I think it'd be really awesome. So, anyways, and hopefully in season 9, even if we don't get this Negan spinoff in season 9, but at least then maybe we can learn some more backstory and a little bit more past of Negan while he's in the cell. So, and there's a lot of speculation on, will he remain in the cell after Andrew Lincoln's departure, right? We know Andrew Lincoln's leaving, whether he's dying or whether he, is just written out. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is still going to be in the show, so he's not leaving with Andrew Lincoln, right? So there's been a lot of speculation on whether Negan will leave that cell once Rick leaves, or stay in it for the duration of the season, or at least the duration of the first half of the season. So that's, again, another question, and it's going to be interesting to see. And a lot of people are saying, Negan could end up leading this group when Rick leaves. Of course, Norman Reedus has kind of been promoted to that star of the show now, but that doesn't mean in maybe a season 10 or the second half of season 9, Jeffrey Dean Morgan can assume that kind of leadership role. It would be really, really weird. I have to say, it would be really tough to sell that to these fans after what they've been through with season 7 and season 8 of Negan, right? And then eventually now seeing him lead this group, right? And in the comics, he doesn't lead the group, but he is definitely, an integral part of this group going forward against the Whisperers. So, to see that on a TV screen would be insane. So, anyways, I will say in season 8, I did think that they should have killed Negan in that finale. I really thought you had to, but now I'm kind of looking back at it. I will say I'm kind of thankful that they didn't, because I think there's so much potential with this character, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan is simply amazing. So to see him in a spin-off or just even more of The Walking Dead is going to be great. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of that one. What do you think the possibility of this Negan spin-off is? And if you do think it's going to happen, when do you think it's going to happen? What do you think we're going to see him as in season 9? Where do you think Negan's story is going to be taken? And yeah, so I just think this is really good news for Walking Dead fans. Even if you don't like Negan, at least now this kind of spin-off or this, story here that they're going to tell of his backstory, may even, not change your mind per se, but at least, kind of sway you a little bit. Not necessarily to feel for him, but just to kind of understand him a little bit better and kind of understand where he's coming from and why he's like this, right? Because a lot of people just say, oh, well, he's a psychopath. He's messed up, whatever. But there's also, in that backstory, there's a lot of stuff that did happen to him that may have pushed him to act more like he does now. So, anyways, and of course, we've met a lot of crazy people, in the apocalypse. Negan probably the craziest, yes, but we have met some other crazy people in the apocalypse, and it seems like every one of them has a backstory and something that had happened to them before the apocalypse, or at the offset of it. So, like the governor, for example, right? So, anyways, all right, so that will just about do it for the Spotlight news topic for this week. Like I said, let me know what your thoughts are of that one. All right, so on to the next news topic for this week. And this one is from Variety, and this one is AMC renews Lodge 49 for Season 2. So this came as not really a surprise to me, but when I first heard about Lodge 49, I did watch the premiere, by the way, and I did mean to put out a review for it, but I think it was on the same night that Better Call Saul was on, when the Season 4 premiere came out, and I was there like, well, Better Call Saul is obviously more important than this Lodge 49. I didn't really have enough time to do a review for it since I was already doing, 2 videos for Better Call Saul that night. So, anyways, long story short, I did check it out, though I didn't review it. And then I think I saw episode 2, because it comes on right after Better Call Saul. And when I say right after, like, the credits for Better Call Saul roll, and then boom, we're into, like, there's no commercials or anything, right? Because of course, AMC wants those, carryover viewers. So I think I did watch episode 2 as well, and I've seen parts of other episodes now just from leaving the TV on right after the Better Call Saul episode. And so, and again, kudos to AMC for doing that, right? They know what they're doing with that. Anyway, so this one, Lodge 49, I enjoyed the premiere. I thought it was good. I just didn't quite understand the tone or the direction of the show, and that's what kind of threw me, and maybe got me a little bit less interested in it. But anyways, so let's get into this one. Lodge 49 has been renewed for a second season at AMC ahead of its season 1 finale. The series is described as a modern fable set in Long Beach, California, about a disarmingly optimistic local ex-surfer, Dud, and he's played by Wyatt Russell. I do really like Wyatt Russell, and that's another reason why I checked out that premiere as well. Who's drifting after the death of his father and the collapse of the family business. In the first season, Dud found himself on the doorstep of a rundown fraternal lodge where middle-aged plumbing salesman and luminous knight of the order welcomes him into a world of domestic beer, easy camaraderie, and a promise of alchemical mysteries. I don't think I'm saying that right. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Alchemical, yeah, mysteries that may or may not put Dud on the path to recover the idyllic life he's lost. The second season of Lodge 49 will go into production and will air on AMC in 2019 with 10 episodes. The first season has received strong praise from critics, holding an 87% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So, again, Rotten Tomatoes isn't the be-all or end-all, and especially not for TV series, I find, because of the whole way the Rotten Tomatoes scale works, right? For some TV shows, there's not a lot of critics who kind of put their reviews in or put their ratings in of these TV series, right? And so the whole way Rotten Tomatoes works is it's, 87% of the critics, right, thought it was that's not a critic saying, oh, I rate this one 84, this one rates it, 90. Okay, it's 87, right? So anyways, and so for some TV series, I feel like it's kind of a flawed rating system, but for this one, there was actually, I did check, there's quite a few people that reviewed it, critics and stuff like that, and gave their ratings. And so, I'd say this is a pretty, well-found, percentage on Rotten Tomatoes. But anyways, great news. I mean, and again, this is, just reading kind of the synopsis of it and kind of, and I just thought that would be a good thing as well, if you haven't seen this show, to understand a little bit more about what it's about. But yeah, I don't know. I never really recognized the correct tone and the way that they wanted me to feel about the show, and the way that they wanted, the show to be, portrayed by the audience. I felt like at times it was a comedy. I was laughing, right? At other times it was, kind of sad. I mean, at times, like a little bit in that premiere, seeing, Wyatt Russell's character being really down on his luck and barely having enough money to feed himself and stuff like that. And then, and it was just a little bit confusing. So anyways, and again, I haven't checked out the rest of the season, so if you have, maybe let me know what you think of it. But yeah, so really great news, though, that it's been renewed. AMC just keeps having hits, by the way. They've had, well, of course, they have Better Call Saul and Walking Dead still. Lodge 49, I saw The Terror in the winter. That was or the spring, whatever. That was amazing. One of my favorite TV series of this year and ever. So that was really great, and they're getting a season 2 for that. So AMC has been doing some really good things lately. And they got Into the Badlands coming up, I think. What is a Dietland they have? And there's one other show that they. Oh, well, Preacher as well. But anyway, so they're doing some really great things at AMC, even though Breaking Bad and Mad Men are kind of, their era is over. AMC is still doing some great things. So anyways, great news to hear for Lodge 49, and Wyatt Russell. It's good to see him on TV and getting a role like this, because I think he deserves it. I think he's a really funny guy. He's a really funny guy, and he's a good actor. So anyways, if you have checked this out, like I said, let me know what you think of it. If you haven't, I suggest you check out the premiere, and then maybe let me know what you think. Maybe let me know if you agree with me or not. Maybe I'm just kind of, a little skeptical of it. Could be. But anyways, the critics really like it. There's quite a big fan base for it so far. So good to see that's getting to season 2. All right, so now on to the next news topic. So this one is going to be covering, again, The Walking Dead. Big fan of The Walking Dead. Guilty as charged, so we got to talk about The Walking Dead. Anyway, so this one is The Walking Dead gets new opening credits sequence. And this one's from Screen Rant. And so it reads, The Walking Dead gets an all-new animated opening credits sequence for Season 9. And it's loaded with Easter eggs. Previous seasons have always tweaked the basic opening titles concept, but this time the sequence gets a full animated redesign that pays homage to the comic books, though the familiar Bear McCreary theme song remains intact. Awesome stuff to hear. In an interview, showrunner Angela Kang explained the thinking behind the revamped titles. I had very long conversations with title designers about the themes we're playing with. The feel of the season has elements of the Western genre. Very interesting. We're paying homage to some of the iconic moments from the graphic novel. Life is coming out of death. Nature is taking over, while other things are crumbling. So that's what she had to say. After several seasons of sagging ratings, The Walking Dead will try to win back fans in season 9 with something of a series reboot, and the new title sequence is just part of that plan to revitalize the show. Okay. So that's where the article, or at least the reading ends there. And so this is pretty awesome. If you actually look on Twitter, I believe the Walking Dead Twitter account, they say in this article that you can go to some outlet and watch it, but you can go on the Twitter for the Walking Dead official Twitter, and I believe they have it pinned as a tweet, so you can watch the sequence now. Though I'm not sure if it's the full sequence, because I feel like they're missing a couple things in there. But anyways, it's cool. And I was going to show it here, but I'm worried about the copyright stuff, because who knows, right? Who knows? Yeah, apparently, you show a picture now for 5 seconds from an episode, and you can get copyright. So, I don't know. Anyways, I was going to show it, but I just thought, nah, no point, right? No point in getting involved with all that stuff. But you guys can go and check it out for yourself. So go to the Walking Dead official Twitter, and you can check it out. But it's great. I really do like it. Now I do really like the other sequence, the other title sequence that they went for the first 8 seasons. It was definitely good, and I'm really just happy that they kept a theme song. If they changed that, I don't know. I don't know if I would have liked it the same way, but it was good. I mean, again, like Angela Kang is saying, this is a new show, right? We're trying to kind of switch things up, right? Revamp, and it says, something of a series reboot, right? And so, you kind of need a new title sequence. You need to, change it up a little bit, redesign it, re-improve it, right, and get some new kind of stuff in there. And I think it's great. I really do. I like it. So anyway, so this is just kind of a little change, but kind of a big change. Again, another symbol of kind of the change incoming with season 9. I do think that her comments though about this and saying the feel of the season has elements of the Western genre. So that's a pretty meaningful comment there. Is Walking Dead going to turn into somewhat of a Western, right? Like, that'd be pretty cool. Of course, we've already seen a lot of pictures of them on horses, them, dragging wagons behind them, being on, the trailers and stuff like that. And so, definitely, that is going to be an element of at least this first half of season 9, maybe the whole season, right? And so that's going to be something new. And then she also says we're paying homage to some of the iconic moments from the graphic novel. So that'll be cool as well. A lot of comic book readers, I'm sure, will be very entertained, and very enthusiastic about this, and that they are, paying homage to those moments. And yeah, so anyways, again, intro sequence, very good. Check it out for yourself. And again, this is just really, reaffirming my amount of hype for this episode tomorrow night. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So anyways, I'll be looking forward to the opening credit sequence. Also, with this news, I do want to give a shout out. Oh, I'm going to get your name wrong. But Jason Gallegos or Goligos, something like that. I do apologize if Jason, you're watching, I messed up your name. But anyways, he also told me he commented on the clips video that I did about Andrew Lincoln coming back to direct for season 10. And he commented and told me that he got a chance to see the premiere with the cast. So that was really cool, cool stuff. So thank you for sharing that, Jason. And he also kind of told me about this title sequence and what to expect about it, and that it was new, right? Because he already had seen it with the premiere. Of course, he didn't give any spoilers away. I do appreciate that. But he did tell me. So I just want to give him a shout out. For telling me that, because I thought it was really, really cool, and I really appreciated him, kind of revealing that to me. And he was right, man. It is really cool, and it's really well done too. I mean, what else can you expect from The Walking Dead, right? So, really great new title sequence here for the season 9, and again, I'm so looking forward to the episode tomorrow night. So, let me know what you think of this one, and if you get a chance or you already have seen it, let me know what you think of it. Kind of analyzing what actually is in that sequence. Again, if I could show it, I would go more into depth, but again, I don't want to, is it worth risking it? Maybe, but let's just stay out of it, right? Let's leave the copyrights alone. Anyways, all right, so let's move on now to the next news topic of the episode. And this one comes from a TV Line, this article, and it is Mayans MC renewed for season 2 at FX. So, of course, this is the Sons of Anarchy spinoff, right? And this one's got quite a bit of positive positive attention from a lot of fans, and I think some people kind of went into it and they weren't sure exactly what to expect. I have not seen season 1, and I have not seen Sons of Anarchy, so I know, but yeah, no, I do want to check out, both series ultimately, but Mayans MC, I'm still not sure if you can kind of watch that one without watching Sons of Anarchy. I want to find that out, because I would be willing to do that, instead of, going through Sons of Anarchy and watching the whole thing first. But anyway, so let's get to this. FX says Mayans MC is riding high. Less than a month into season 1, the Sons of Anarchy spinoff has been renewed for season 2, the Cabler announced Monday. The series premiered on September 4th with 2.53 million viewers and a 1.1 demo rating, nearly matching the numbers Sons of Anarchy drew in its 2008 debut. Wow, 2000, so 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago. Per FX, through the first 3 episodes, Mayans is averaging 8.2 million viewers per episode across all linear and non-linear platforms. The second season will premiere in 2019. FX did not reveal how many episodes it has ordered. Keep in mind, season 1 has 8 episodes, so maybe we'll see another 8, or maybe we'll see 10, maybe, for season 2, so we're not sure. FX has not announced that yet. And then wraps it up. Mayans MC's 10-episode first season concludes in early November. So, anyways, good news for all fans, Sons of Anarchy and Mayans MC. But like I said, I think this has really gotten a lot of praise from fans. And I don't know if a lot of people were skeptical going in, per se, but obviously with every spinoff for even a show like Breaking Bad, even better, like, think of this, even Better Call Saul, a lot of people were worried about and kind of skeptical of, right? And you think of how good Breaking Bad was, right? Like, so for a show, Sons of Anarchy, pretty successful show. A lot of people, are fans of it. I think even some, you could definitely argue, were skeptical of Mayans MC, this spinoff, and it's looking like that skepticism has been kind of pushed to the side, because this show is really great. So, and FX, man, like, they are really, they are doing some great things with their kind of programming, and it's really awesome. So anyways, really great stuff here for FX, Mayans MC, Sons of Anarchy fans. If you do watch Sons of Anarchy, or you watch Mayans MC as well, can you let me know if I can watch Mayans MC without watching Sons of Anarchy? Because I would definitely be willing to do that if I could. But if you think, I don't know, because I'm thinking, like, you could probably do it, but I feel like if you watch Sons of Anarchy, you would pick up on kind of the Easter eggs, or the homage, paying homage back to the original. And I feel like missing out on that is kind of, big time. And so anyways, that, right, because that's kind of like watching Better Call Saul, and you have an appearance of a character in Breaking Bad this season. But if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you wouldn't get that, right? It would just be like a normal character introduction. And so that's what I'm kind of thinking would happen. But anyways, let me know about that one. But all in all, very good news for FX, Mayans MC, everything like that. Sons of Anarchy fans, really great. So, anyways, so that'll just about do it for that one. But again, let me know what your thoughts are of these series, and let me know if you have seen it. Let me know what you think, and let me know if I could kind of watch that without watching the original. So, anyways. Okay, so now let's get to the last topic of today's episode, and the last news topic of this week. And this one is coming from Netflix. I feel as though Netflix always has some big news every single week I do this show. Honestly, it's crazy, but anyway, so this one is Netflix developing the Chronicles of Narnia films and TV series. So this article is from comicbook.com. Again, this is huge news from this week. So, and I think this came out on Thursday. So, Thursday or Wednesday. So, anyways, check it out if you haven't already. But anyways, so this one reads, "It looks like the world is about to meet a brand new version of Aslan. After all, the Chronicles of Narnia has teamed up with Netflix for a new adaptation deal. According to reports, the beloved C.S. Lewis series will be getting adapted by Netflix through both film and television. That's the biggest part of this. C.S. Lewis's beloved Chronicles of Narnia stories have resonated with generations of readers around the world, Ted Sarandos, chief content officer at Netflix, said. Families have fallen in love with characters like Aslan and the entire world of Narnia, and we're thrilled to be their home for years to come. The studio will develop Lewis's iconic story into a full-on Narnia universe comprised of both films and TV series. And keep in mind, the last film was made in 2010. So it's already been 8 years since that last film, and I'm guessing it's going to be probably 2020 by the time we first see any type of adaptation from Netflix for this, because, you know, the announcement just came out this week that they kind of have the rights and now they've started developing. So, you know, let's kind of, you know, keep this realistic here. Probably 2020 will be the first, you know, kind of time that we'll see something like this. And that's 10 years from the original, or not from the original, sorry, the last movie that was made. The original came out in 2005. So that'd be 15 years from that one. For fans of the fantasy franchise, this new announcement comes as a shock and a delight. Netflix has been making headway with its original content for years now, and this acquisition stands as one of the company's biggest endeavors yet. So, big news for Netflix here, right? The Chronicles of Narnia, you know, I'm pretty sure, I mean, even if you don't, you know, you haven't seen the films, you haven't read the books, pretty sure almost everyone has heard of that, right? The Chronicles of Narnia. It's a you know, huge, you know, series, and the films did really well, you know, when they were out too. So, anyways, for Netflix to pick this up, it's pretty awesome stuff, and I do really like it says this announcement comes as a shock and a delight. It's true, right? I mean, you really didn't hear much about this. Like, until this news broke, you did not hear much about the Chronicles of Narnia being, you know, up for, you know, adaptations and stuff like that, and Netflix even talking with them. So this, I think, is quite a shock to hear about this news, but also such a delight for the fans of Chronicles of Narnia, and Netflix too. I feel like they're going to tap into a whole new audience now with these adaptations, and I think kind of not necessarily a whole generation, but a new kind of group of fans and audience members will learn to kind of love the Chronicles of Narnia story and series. So anyways, yeah, really great news here. But my thought about this, my main thought here about this news, and this may not be, you know, and this isn't in the article, this is you know, this is my thought here, and this may be, you know, not, you know, I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical, right, of this more than anything. And this is my opinion. I think that with this Chronicles of Narnia acquisition by Netflix, right? So now they're going to have this huge blockbuster universe, they're calling it, right? The Chronicles of Narnia universe. And so that's going to be huge. Again, that just talks about the universe right now theme in movies and television with Marvel and DC and what else are they? Well, the Conjuring universe, like talking all about these universes, and that's kind of a big theme right now. So that goes with that. But again, I think the main kind of thing to get out of this is Netflix is now with the Chronicles of Narnia, and it just so happens that Amazon Prime Video is with Lord of the Rings, and they have talked about starting a Lord of the Rings universe. So, you know, you know, Netflix and Amazon are always competing, right? Whether they want to say so, and I think they do make it pretty clear that they do compete with each other, and do a lot of things, you know, to kind of not necessarily hurt the other, but better the other, right? They want to do better than the other one. Although Netflix is, you know, has quite a substantial lead over Amazon right now. But I do really think that this could be broken down to even this competition between Amazon and Netflix, right? Amazon has gotten Lord of the Rings this year, and now Netflix has gotten the Chronicles of Narnia. So two big blockbuster kind of franchises that they've kind of, both of these services have taken on now, and they are going for adaptations now, or adaptations, sorry. But Amazon, I think Lord of the Rings is only a TV series, right? So Netflix has kind of said, this is a universe, we're going to be making films and TV series, and they use like a plural when they say TV series. Like TV series, you know, and so that means like you could have multiple TV series made for this Narnia universe. So anyways, Amazon I think is just one single TV series of Lord of the Rings, but they have said it's going to be like a universe element in that they are going to tell like different stories and have different characters and stuff like that from different times, in the stories. So that is for sure a possibility with Amazon as well. So anyways, I think this all kind of boils down to that, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see both of these services and what they do with these big franchise, these big stories that have been told in the past, that have been adapted even in the past, and see what they kind of do with it. So anyways, I'm really looking forward to Amazon Sword of the Rings, and I'm looking forward to Netflix, The Chronicles of Narnia. I think that the possibilities are really endless for either streaming service here, and what they decide to do is definitely going to be. I'm looking forward to it. So, anyways, guys, Chronicles of Narnia fans, this has got to be the best news in a while, because of course the fourth movie. The last one was made in 2010, right? But the fourth movie has kind of been on the shelf now for a few years. And so this is kind of big news now that Netflix is going to run with it. And I would like to say in this article, I couldn't find the amount in any of the articles, but the amount of money that Netflix must have spent to get the rights to the Chronicles of Narnia, like not just a TV series, not just a movie, but a universe. Just imagine how much money that would have cost Netflix. I'd love to see that number somewhere. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. But anyways, I'd love to see that number because I think it would be crazy, a crazy amount. But honestly, it might even be, I don't know, because the Lord of the Rings, I think they paid $500 million, and that was just for the TV series for Amazon. So I'm thinking this may even be close to $1 billion that Netflix paid to have the rights for this Narnia universe. It's crazy. So, anyways, maybe Lord of the Rings is bigger, so maybe not quite $1 billion, but I'm saying pretty close to it. Anyways, guys, so good news for the Chronicles of Narnia fans, good news for Netflix, and it's good to see, they're striving, they're really making some big moves, and this is maybe even their biggest endeavor yet, so we'll have to see how it turns out in the next few years. So anyways, that'll just about do it for the news for this week in television. Let me know what you thought of any or all the news that I've talked about here, and let's start discussing some of these big topics. Alright, so to end off the show here, now we'll get to my weekly notables from this week, and unfortunately this week was incredibly busy for me, and I only got to see one episode of television this week, so I was a little bit disappointed, but it is what it is. I got a lot to catch up on. I got to catch up on The Deuce. I want to catch up on Manifest. I want to catch up on A Million Little Things. And there's American Horror Story I got to catch up on a little bit too. So a lot of catching up to do, hopefully over the weekend here. And I want to do a review for the Manifest season, episode 2. I want to do a review for The Deuce, episode 3 and 4. And I'm not sure about A Million Little Things, and probably not American Horror Story. So at least those two reviews I do want to get out. So look forward to those on the channel. But anyways, weekly notables for this week. My notable episode is the only episode I saw, Better Call Saul, season 4, episode 9, Wider Sen. Wider Sen. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyways, not just because it was the only episode. I mean, this was a very good episode, let me tell you. A great setup for the finale of season 4. Hands down. I mean, this did its job. It really got me looking forward to the finale and raised a lot of questions that now can be tackled in that season finale episode. So I am looking forward to Walking Dead tomorrow and Better Call Saul premiere. The premiere of Walking Dead and the finale of Better Call Saul on Monday night. It's going to be a packed 2 days. So, anyways, I'm really looking forward to both. I'm going to be watching them live. I probably will be doing a quick thoughts for The Walking Dead tomorrow night, and I probably will be doing a quick thoughts video for the finale of Better Call Saul, depending on the ending. I mean, if it's just a kind of a self-explanatory ending, and it's a very good episode, but nothing huge, happens, then maybe I won't do that, but as of now, I plan to do that. So check for that on the channel as well. But yeah, great episode 9 here. And then that takes me to my notable performance, which I got to give to Bob Odenkirk. He was amazing in this episode with Better Call Saul season 4, episode 9. He was awesome. And the kind of the breakdown of Jimmy and Kim's relationship in this episode, it was about 9 months in the making, a whole season in the making, and it was great to see. So, not, as I said in the review, I wasn't happy to see it, for these characters to be in this argument, right? And to be in this kind of situation, but I was happy to see it finally play out. So anyways, really great job, Better Call Saul. I'm so looking forward to the finale of this season. I still do believe this season has been the best season of the show so far. It's really been great. So anyways, guys, those are my weekly notables. Let me know what you liked in this week of television. What episodes did you watch? What performance did you like the best? And everything like that. I'd love to hear it. So anyways, guys, as I said at the offset of this one, leave your questions, comments, thoughts, discussion points in the comments of this one if you're watching afterwards. And hopefully I can, if it's a question, then maybe I can take that on to next week's episode and kind of explore that then. So anyways, guys, that'll just about do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for those of you who are tuning in live. I do really appreciate it. And thank you for those, again, who are watching afterwards. I appreciate you guys too. So anyways, as of now, we're at 198 subscribers, so we're 2 away from 200. Really, really thankful. So I'd just like to thank you guys for the support on the channel. It really means a lot. So thank you guys for that. Hopefully we'll hit 200 in the next few days here. And it's been amazing. Like, I've gotten, 15, I think I calculated, but it's 15 in the last, week and, 10 days or something like that. That's amazing for my channel. So anyways, thank you guys. And the Manifest review has been doing awesome. The comments, the likes, the views and everything like that. The interaction has been amazing. So thank you so much for that, guys. Do really appreciate it. And thank you so much for supporting this series as well. Thanks so much for watching this one. And yeah, so really liking this series, and I will be back next week to break down some of the biggest news, and also probably talk about The Walking Dead and Better Call Saul, because that'll be awesome, and I'll be doing reviews, of course, for those as well. So keep tuned to the channel. Anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for watching this episode of Let's Talk Television. I do really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you, like I said, next week on Saturday, same time, same place, for Let's Talk Television, Season 3, Episode 4. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.